Do I look like that one guy who's in that meme, but he has long hair?
I don't know what meme you're talking about, but yes.
I think since you don't know, then the answer would be no. Oh, well. Will the Denver Broncos survive the Green Bay Packers? 19-17. Game-winning field goal made by Will Lutz. Will Lutz was really busy in this game. 4 field goals, I believe, for Big Willie.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been clutch. People won't want to hear it, but he's kicking better than Brandon McManus this season.
Ooh, dang it. I got to eat a lot of words. 4 of 4. His game winner was 52 yards, so I respect
And
that.
absolutely crushed that ball too.
Yeah.
He nailed that. Big nuts Lutz. He's red hot right now.
Yeah.
Not the only person whose nuts are swollen after this game though.
Jeudy took a vicious nut shot in this game. Kareem Jackson got ejected, but who do you know who hit Jerry in the nuts? Whoever that Packer that hit him.
I don't know who that was now.
He should be ejected too. I don't think you should be allowed to hit a dude right in the penis, dick, balls area and remain in a football game. Even if it's an accident, ejection.
Cue up the he's touching my penis.
Get your hands off my penis.
I'll just say I'm glad Jerry has already reproduced because that one looked pretty devastating.
Yeah, that one was brutal. I'm going to play it just so everybody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to go, let's see. Is this the one I want? Yes. Nope, it was not the one I wanted, but right here, you can see it. Boom! Right in the nuts.
It looks like Valentine.
Oh, yeah. Valentine.
Guy who's starting for Jair Alexander.
Look at this. Ooh!
Just seeing him crumple after that too was. I think we've all been there at some point, and as men, we can all empathize.
Yeah, it's a rough one. I'm not sure Jeudy will ever be the same. His trade market probably just went down, so this one stings on multiple levels.
Yeah, I'll say. Probably maybe his best game of the season though. Even with the shot to the Nads, 5 grabs, 64 yards, and that one that set them up for the game winner. So yeah. Jerry, your personal pain, it did not go in vain. I'll say that.
No. All right. The one thing I want to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
This question, the title of this video, was this win a good thing or a bad thing for the Broncos? Is it hard for you to separate thinking about the future and just trying to enjoy this team right now?
Yes, it is. It's absolutely hard. I'm not gonna lie and say like I'm pissed off that they won. Like I don't have that in me to be upset after a win. Was I on my feet like cheering the whole game? No. Also no. But the people who are just like on Twitter like mad at the players for winning this game. Come on, dude. Like what are you going to do? Like the Packers just sucked. They're really
they were bad.
They're not very good. You can make a case that both of their touchdowns were really lucky.
Oh, not only are we going to make that case, we're going to just say that it was incredible luck. It was. There's no debating it. They were absolutely incredibly lucky to score 2 touchdowns.
No, they didn't deserve to win this game.
No.
The Broncos, they didn't play their best game of football by any means, but they were the better team today. They had a touchdown called back on a hold.
Yep.
They eventually did find the end zone with that wheel route to Cortland Sutton. But that was an interception.
By Pat Surtain?
Yes.
Yes.
And I feel that was also a very tough play for me as a Romeo Dubs fan for many
Mm-hmm.
years.
Mm-hmm.
But by the rule, it's whoever gets their feet down first. If the possession is tied, Surtain gets his feet down first. I thought Gene Steratore did a really good job of explaining it.
Yeah.
A really quick review too by the
Yeah.
NFL. It felt like the play was over and the field goal unit was out. Like that's not one that you want to take a quicker or a longer look at. That's certainly, you know, the Packers, I guess. Maybe they have some good karma built up from the Fail Mary on those kinds of plays, but
Yeah.
that to me looked like an interception.
Yeah, I think it was, and I agree with the explanation helping. I had no idea that that was the rule, that whoever got their feet down, if it were a tie. I always thought doesn't happen that often.
Oh,
I
it's
thought tie
I mean,
kind
it's
of goes to
possession.
the offense. Tie goes to the runner, right? But like this one, it felt like Surtain caught it first,
Yeah,
and
and then
then Romeo grabbed it.
yeah, and
And
you
then
could see like the way they were holding it too. Like Sertan had kind of the foot, it was grabbing the football kind of the long way, and then Dubs just kind of like had two hands on the end of it, like he was sort of latching on to Sertan's ball basically that he had picked off. Just a like not a very good throw by Jordan Love at all. I think if
no,
he throws that a little harder and a little more outside, it's a very easy touchdown. And then
yeah,
I guess it was the touchdown for Jaden Reed.
that was just luck, just
That's
straight up luck.
yeah, I mean, that was a good that was actually a really good play by Jordan Love. Drops his arm angle, throws another one to Dubs that just goes off his hands and bounces right to Reed. Like
Yeah.
that to me felt like if we lost that game, that's like the play you open the video with.
Oh, for sure. That's when I thought it was over. I was like, oh God, like
Yeah.
that was just being slapped in the face with bad
Slapped in
luck.
the
But
face, punched in the nuts.
yeah, so that gave the Packers, a 1 point lead. But then Broncos drive down, they get into field goal range, kick the field goal, they win the game. It felt a lot to me like the first game of the season against the Raiders. Like it feels
Uh-huh.
like it was close. The Broncos should have won that game, but they didn't. The Raiders weren't good, but the Broncos weren't good. And this game, it just feels like it's like the exact same scenario where Russell Wilson was decent today, didn't do anything bad, no mistakes, no big mistakes.
Yeah. Which is what I mean, that's why they won the game is because they didn't have any silly turnovers.
Yeah, just kept him in the game. Defense played better this week. Defense looked pretty good in this game. It feels like this is the defense we kind of thought we'd have through the season, keeping opponents to close games with the offense being a little bit improved. Broncos win. Now that said, it's like if you watch the game, it was really boring. 3 field goals in the first half for the Broncos. They shut out the Packers 9-0.
Uh-huh.
Packers have scored like 26 points in the first half all season. It was boring. And then it got interesting at the end because the Broncos let the Packers get back in the game. But like Jordan Love and Russell Wilson were nearly identical statistically. Wilson, 20 of 29 for 194 yards, 1 TD. Jordan Love, 21 of 31, 180, 2 TDs, and that pick at the end of the game where he threw into double coverage and underthrew into double coverage and cost his team any chance to get the win.
Yeah, that was really I mean they really set themselves back with that hold after they were about 4 yards out of field goal range.
Yeah, they did.
Someone holds and then they're forced into 3rd and 20. And
Yeah,
rather than he had a guy I think 5 yards downfield for what could have been like 10, 15 yards. And just forces it. And that was actually we should give PJ Locke a lot of credit because that was really, really an incredible play where he's not supposed to be covering that side of the field whatsoever. Um, he's in deep coverage in the middle third of the field, holding it down, and then he sees the ball released and ranges over all the way over to where Justin Simmons is covering the receiver, and just steals a pass. Like, great play by him. And he's not in this game. He's probably not in that situation unless Kareem Jackson doesn't get ejected.
Yeah. Yeah. Kareem got ejected for his past indiscretioncies of hard hits.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they said that on the broadcast. Sterator again goes, they don't take that into consideration. Like, of course they do.
Yeah, they do. That hit wasn't that bad. Even in real time, it wasn't that bad of a hit. In real time, I understand why they threw the flag.
Yeah, I get the flag. I don't agree with the ejection.
No, that didn't make sense. But like, I don't know what else you wanted. Like, that rule specifically, Kareem Jackson's ejected because he hit the Packers tight. Was it their tight end?
Yeah, it was Luke Musgrave.
Yeah, the rookie Luke Musgrave, who catches a ball. He turns around and then is kind of falling, but he's taken like a couple steps and he's falling, and Kareem comes in and hits him. And it's like at the very breaking point of when a receiver is, quote, able to defend himself, in my opinion. I don't know what Kareem's supposed to do there besides just pull up and then push him to the ground, basically, is like what he's got to learn to do. But in the name of safety, the NFL's asking players to not tackle in that situation. So it's tough. And Kareem, I thought, didn't lead with his head. He hit Musgrave in the shoulder and he got ejected for it. Bang, bang play. They're not going to review it. I get living with the flag there, but it's a shitty position for a defender to be in. And, he had the 2 bad hits earlier, so that's why he got kicked out. Anybody says any difference, liar. Liars.
We're talking about a guy who was drafted in 2010, and 14 years later, like, it's just a different league.
Yeah.
And things have changed so much. You saw, like, Chris Harris was on Twitter. I follow him. Talking about, like, that's a hit that Darian Stewart or TJ Ward would have made 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And that was just a good hit, like 10 years ago.
Because, like, I guess the position that Jackson is in there, it's like you've got a tight end who catches the ball and he's turning around to go upfield. He just kind of happens to also be falling, but you can't bank on the guy falling there.
No,
you don't know if he's falling. Like, he's turning upfield to make a play to keep running, and you're already going in to make the tackle, and it's just dumb. But whatever, that ejection might have helped the Broncos win.
It might have won them the game.
Yeah. Packers, let's say that ball's not picked, then the Packers, they have another chance on 4th down. Who knows if they convert or not, but it is what it is.
And knowing our luck, they probably get like a 5-yard defensive holding. Something.
Shit. Yeah. See, and that's the thing, like, Russ and Jordan Love's, like, stat lines very similar, as I mentioned just a minute ago, but Russ played better than Jordan Love in this game.
Yes, he did.
The Broncos ran the ball better as well. If you're looking at that box score, that stat line, it's a little skewed because Marvin Mims had a negative 11-yard run on was it a reverse or an end around that just did not go well? It seemed like
his only touch of the game. I think several days after Sean Payton was talking about getting him more involved, he finishes the game with 1 touch for minus 11. So,
yeah, it's a handoff.
If that's not like that's like a good lesson to just never believe anything anyone says in a press conference.
Yeah, especially a head coach.
Yeah, especially Sean Payton.
No receptions or targets for Marvin. 1 target for Marvin Mims. Nate Atkins had a catch. Adam Troutman had a catch. P. Ryan 3, Javonte 3. And I'm like, if you're going to throw the ball out of all those guys, the only two you can justify possibly getting more touches are Jeudy and Sutton. And then Russ had a play where he overthrew Troutman.
Yeah.
And like during the stream, I was like, I don't blame that on Russ. He just not used to throwing to a tight end that's that slow.
Yeah, I thought maybe he thought that was Dulcich.
Maybe
he didn't get the news that Dulcich was on IR. It's just like, all right, he's played with so many white tight ends in his career that I understand the confusion. I get it.
Yeah, that's fair. But so the Broncos they should have won this game by more. They shouldn't have I didn't see the replay of the hold. It was Quinn Bailey got flagged for the hold on the touchdown that came back. Did they show a replay? Was it a legit hold? Was it a good call?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
So just a dumb mistake by the Broncos there.
Yeah, it happens.
But it was an ugly game, and they got the win. And the Packers made it really hard for the Broncos to not win this game because they did nothing in the first half as an offense. Which is, if you're a Packers fan, you should be concerned.
Oh, yes.
Because I know the Broncos defense has played better the last few weeks. Maybe Vance Joseph's gotten a little better, but like, I don't foresee the Chiefs having any issue beating the Broncos this coming week. And so,
no, not really.
We're in this weird spot where they just won a game and a bunch of 1-5 teams won today, except for the Cardinals. Now, technically, the Broncos have the 4th overall draft pick.
Yep.
And you mentioned like fans getting mad at the players for winning. And then there's the flip side of that of fans calling other fans not real fans if they're ever rooting for their team to lose. It's bullshit. Like, my take is don't be a fucking 6-year-old. All right? Don't be a 6-year-old about whether or not you want the team to win or lose at this point. Because, yeah, if you're rooting for the team and all you care about is them winning this week, go for it. Root for that.
Yeah,
root for that outcome. Be that guy. Be all
especially like if you paid money to go see.
Yeah, if you're at the game, certainly. But if you're thinking, if you're a different kind of fan where you've been through the last 7 seasons and you're tired of the same shit, and you're like, they won today, they might win a couple more, and then they're not going to be in a spot to draft one of the quarterbacks in this draft. Which is the only way you're really going to change your destiny as a franchise, and you want to root for them to lose out, that's fine too, because the reason you're rooting for them to lose out is so they can get somebody who can make them better. Now, do we know who that quarterback is? Not this week, because Caleb Williams has been worse. He's been bad the last 2 weeks. Drake May looks really good, and then he threw a game-ending interception. Right now, I'm kind of leaning on, I want to be a Penix boy. I want Penix in my team, Will. I'm a Penix man.
I'm guessing that you did not stay up to watch that Washington game.
Nope, I did not. I don't know what happened.
I did. They won. 0 touchdowns, 2 picks for Mr. Penix.
Okay, fuck it. I want the Broncos to win out. I don't want any of these quarterbacks.
All these guys suck. All right.
They're all terrible. We'll wait another year for Shedeur.
Yeah. Like, okay. I certainly understand wanting the team to lose. Or just simply like not wanting them to lose even, but accepting that this is like the quickest way to get better.
Yeah.
Is to just be bad. By no means can you like blame a coaching staff or a team for trying to win. Obviously, that's just silly. I think you have a case like if you think that you're out of it at 2-5, and the Broncos hold off on trading guys that could get them assets for the future, I think you have a legitimate reason to be upset. Because I still think like this doesn't change the long-term outlook for the season. Even though CBS threw up that graphic about teams that started 1-5 and still made the playoffs. I was like, yeah, let's not. First of all, the game wasn't even over. Second of all, like let's not jump the gun on that one.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah, just like
we've
accept
officially
that we have different everybody has a different philosophy.
yeah.
Like just don't be like don't cry about it when they win, and also don't call people fake fans
Yeah. Just
for not wanting to win.
whatever your cup of tea is for it, just double down on that and let other people enjoy it however they want. Because
Yeah.
right now there's no good answer. There is probably no quick fix.
There's so much season left.
Yeah.
And like you said at the beginning, almost all the 1-5 teams won. The Panthers are on a bye,
Yeah.
and
Cardinals lost.
The Cardinals are getting Kyler Murray back too.
Yeah.
And
So
they haven't
they
looked
win a couple.
they haven't looked that bad, despite being 1-6 now.
If the Cardinals are tanking, they're doing it better than anybody because nobody's talking about them tanking. That's
Yeah, they're doing a very good job.
And NFL teams don't tank. They just don't. It's become a thing people talk about, but it's not like a real thing outside of maybe one or two teams. And
in the last game of the season,
they've decided the last game or couple games they're going to play alternate players. They're going to give some other guys some looks. So
okay, I will say the one team that, and not even the team, the management that was tanking, probably the 2019 Miami Dolphins, the team that traded Minka Fitzpatrick and started Ryan Fitzpatrick and Josh Rosen, and they ended up winning 5 games.
Yeah.
And still got Tua, who do you think he's better than Burrow? Probably not, but he ended up being the right quarterback for them. And he was the guy that everybody wanted to tank for in the first place. So no one has any idea how this is going to play out, how the rest of the season is going to play out, how the draft's going to play out, who's declaring, who's not declaring, who's going to be the best player available. Like you don't know that. You have an idea, like is Drake May or Caleb Williams probably going to be the best quarterback in this draft? Yeah, probably. But you just can't bank on it at this point, to the point where you're gonna cry and piss and shit because your team won a game against a bad Packers team.
Yeah, and like Caleb Williams is an insane athlete, and he's done the crazy stuff we've seen NFL quarterbacks do in terms of extending plays and then making the throws. But like comparing him to Andrew Luck is probably a stretch right now in terms of the prospect, because if he were as good as Andrew Luck, he would have willed his team to a victory in one of the last 2 games. You can have a bad game as a college QB. I can forgive like one bad game, but follow it up with another bad game and an important game against a tough opponent. Like, then you're like, you got to start. If you're a bad team and that player's supposed to elevate you that much, probably not going to happen in the NFL if they're not doing it in college consistently.
Yeah, I mean, that's 3 straight losses to Utah. Utah, who is not playing with their starting quarterback, Cam Rising.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can get into it a lot later, but I have a lot of questions about that.
Yeah, for Caleb's, it's going to be going to the right situation, because that's what happened to Patrick Mahomes. He went to the right situation. He was not a perfect quarterback in college.
No.
He just went to the right spot. So
let's everybody calm down. Just for now, let's just enjoy.
I'm going to enjoy one win. Enjoy one win.
Especially, you got to enjoy that win.
I started talking mad shit to Tom during the stream. So,
it is very like, I've never had any animosity for Packers fans, but it is a little funny watching them try to cope with coming to terms that they don't have an elite quarterback anymore.
Oh yeah. It's very funny. It's like, I've been there. I know that.
Tom, I think, handles everything pretty well. Kurt Benkert having a tough time on Twitter as one of the premier Russell Wilson haters online. It's just, I get it. Like, after 4 years of Manning, I can't imagine falling back on 3 decades of Favre and Rodgers and then having to slowly come to terms with, this may or may not be the guy.
Yeah, it's what they don't really realize right now is that when your quarterback is average to below average, players that you thought were really good or are no longer really good. They are also at average, unless those players are like Tyreek Hill. Unless
Yes.
they're truly insanely more talented than everyone around them. So, like, if you're a Packers fan, you're looking at Aaron Jones. Why isn't he doing what he normally does? Christian Watson doesn't look as good as we thought he was. Romeo Dobbs doesn't look as good. It's because they don't have a good quarterback getting them those opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the teams don't really have to worry about the run as much if you don't have Aaron Rodgers back there to decide when to pass and throw every play. So we've done the same thing the last several years. Like, this is going to be Jerry Jeudy's year. This is going to be Jerry Jeudy's year. This is going to be Jerry Jeudy's year. This is going to be Cortland Sutton's year. This is going to be Javonte Williams. You know, the injuries play in there, but like when everything starts with the quarterback and everything is kind of average, then you just takes a while and you have to like do this thing where like those players still might be pretty good, but since the whole system's not working anymore, they're kind of fucked.
Yeah, I mean, you can't approach the NFL like baseball, where every player is just kind of their own island, and you know, Mike Trout can be the MVP on a bad Angels team, or Shohei Ohtani, or there's no such thing as an isolated outcome in football.
No. But what I wanted to say, check out Underdog Fantasy. We did a big special during the GPS stream, but you can use this other code, Let's Ride, if you're going to sign up with Underdog. Got my pick'ems going right now. Got my Russ Gimme. Got Josh Dobbs. Need DeAndre Swift to hit higher tonight. But if you're going to play Underdog, they're going to match your first deposit up to $500. Again, with our code Let's Ride. The QR code works. There's a link in the description. You can build your pick'em games. They got specials every week. They do $100,000 Sundays where they give you a player special. You use that player in your pick'em lineup. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. You're qualified to win $100,000 plus fantasy games. What was the fantasy one I did this last week? The draft. Crap. I can't even remember which one I did. Let me go. Active lobby drafts. Right now, let's see here. I'm just going to look at some of the ones they got up there. They got Toe Drag Tuesday. It's a $7 tournament for NHL. They got all of these different fantasy drafts you can do. They're quick. They're easy. You can play $5, $10. Doesn't have to be high stakes. If you're going to do it, just use our code Let's Ride. Let me get my freaking disclaimer up.
That thing up. Get that thing up.
Boom. Again, matching your deposit up to $500. That's not going to last forever, so take advantage of it now. I saw the footage of, was it Penix? Yeah, it was Penix, and he was freestyling on the sideline to his teammate while they were this was 2 weeks ago. Okay. Very confident, led the team to a big victory. Who did they beat 2 weeks ago? Was it Oregon? Yeah, it was against Oregon.
Yeah.
That was a game I'm like, well, maybe that's the guy I want. Maybe I don't want the Broncos to have the first or second pick. I want them to have the third pick, and I want them to go Penix. But then I got scared. I got a little scared because I was like, uh-oh. Last quarterback who was doing well and wrapped on the sideline didn't work out.
We all know. Yeah.
That literally scares me a little bit. I'm not trying to be funny. It's just I'm so superstitious right now with our football team. I don't know how to fix them. But
I think it's not even being superstitious. It's just like seeing 2 steps ahead and knowing that if this guy's bad, like we're going to get made fun of for reason X, Y, or Z.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
But he's good. Like they all kind of had their shortcomings last night, but we'll see. It's all about who bounces back.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I was how I would spin Caleb Williams had he bounced back, but he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't.
Okay.
Drake is still the guy for me.
Yeah, he's probably the best pure thrower of the ball. And I've only watched very little. Anyway, Broncos. Back to the Broncos. Don't really have to talk about this game. Javonte looked, he had a nice night. Javonte Williams had a nice night. 15 carries, 82 yards. Felt like he was breaking some tackles. Felt like he was starting to feel a little more comfortable on his knee.
More comfortable every week. You can tell. And they committed to the run. 25 carries.
Yeah, that was nice. And I think we need to give Cortland Sutton some love and some credit because
absolutely
he's been good the last several games. He's been like Russ's favorite target. After those fumbles that he had, like he's been pretty good since those fumbles, and it sucks because those cost us a game. What I wanted to say is the Broncos are just ending their easy stretch of the schedule, though. So this is where I feel like reality is going to slap us back in the face because we won this game because the Packers aren't that good, and the Broncos, because of that Dolphins game, we've just accepted the narrative that they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. And they kind of are, but they're competitive. The same way the Raiders are currently 3-4 or whatever. They were 3-3 today, or they're
3-4 now.
3-4. They won a couple close games. One against the Broncos, one against the Packers. Broncos should have beat the Commanders. They should have beat the Jets, and they should have beat the Raiders. Those are all winnable games. Was the Jets a one-score game ultimately? I don't know.
Ended up being a 2-score after the fumble.
But like what I'm saying is they're not as bad as that narrative, but we should have a winning record right now going into the gauntlet. And now we're going into the gauntlet, getting a win we probably should have just not gotten because we get the Chiefs. And then do we have a bye week after the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think it was Chiefs by Buffalo.
Yeah, well, I guess like Buffalo doesn't look that good.
I think they'll figure it out in a couple weeks, but
probably
you're
Buffalo,
right.
Vikings, Browns, Texans, Chargers, Lions. Well, looking at it after this week, I'm like, fuck, we could win a lot of these games. I'm going to talk myself into a winning record right now. Well, maybe it's not as bad as I thought. If we just beat the Chiefs, if the Broncos beat the Chiefs, God, we could be talking about the playoffs.
Oh yeah, if things go our way against Kansas City, absolutely. Then we will absolutely talk ourselves into maybe not just the playoffs, but getting a couple rounds deep in the playoffs.
Yeah. Chiefs we play the Chiefs at home on my birthday. We're going to be doing a bench warmer brew special this week, benchwarmerbrew.com. So keep an eye out on that. Fudge.
You doing the stream?
What's that?
You streaming on your birthday?
Oh yeah, of course.
I thought so.
I got to stream all the games, the Bronco games.
It'd be an honor to stop by.
Yes, I'd love to have you. I'd love to have you. I want to do it as a charity stream, but I'm waiting to see if this charity connects that I want to work with, but we'll see. Yeah. But, so Cortland Sutton played well. We gave Will Lutz the credit he deserves. Alex Singleton, Josie Jewell combined for 21 tackles in this game.
Yeah, Singleton's been everywhere.
He really has. He's doing a charity, and I'm doing $15 per tackle he makes to his charity.
Oh shit!
And he's got a lot of tackles every week. Will.
Yeah, I would have set that. I would have set that number a little lower.
I probably should have, but it's for a good cause, so whatever. The one thing, just one sack in this game, and Russell Wilson was the man sacked. So Jordan Love was not sacked at all. Baron Browning back. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for him to get going, but that's still like kind of the big hole right now. It feels like is quarterback pressure from the defense, because if they start getting pressure consistently,
changes the entire complexion.
The defense is a lot better. And Jaquan McMillan, this is the second game in a row he's looked good. So
yeah, and I think a big point that we didn't touch on yet is they pretty much benched Mathis in favor of Fabian Moreau, who I thought looked pretty good.
Oh, okay. Good catch.
Yeah.
So they're working through it. We'll see when they play a good team how they look, and that'll be this weekend. But that's all I have. I think like enjoy the win. We beat a better team. The Broncos are better than the Packers right now.
Yeah, no question about it. Yeah, just enjoy it if you want to. If you want to be sad about it, I understand too.
Yeah, we'll deal with that sadness later.
Yeah, well,
The thing is, like,
in a few weeks.
That's that thing. Like moving on from Russell Wilson is possible. It is not easy. But maybe the situation, they get a quarterback, they keep Russ, that quarterback sits under him for a year or two, is maybe the ultimately the best thing. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the rest of college football season shakes out, see what the Broncos can do. But we'll be back with the midweek pod. Going to get working on the Broncos recap, winners and losers. Got a lot of work to do, so we're getting the hell out of here.
See you guys.
You have any last thoughts, Will?
Jerry Jeudy should think about wearing a cup, I think, going forward.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I missed a couple of these super chats. Russell Wilson, 1 TD, 0 interception. Yeah. Just enough. Just enough to get the win. I'm in third, 50. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Didn't want to miss those supers. Good night.
And John Elway plays his entire career without an ACL.
Good luck.